kind of person who feels like they need therapy, you're useless. Because in the harshest realities of this cold world, there are people in Syria whose entire families have been blown to fuck, who are still getting up every day, making fucking bread and selling it on the streets so they have enough money to buy a new pair of sandals sometime next year.
Never say go into bed. Going to bed is emasculate. Cowards would sleep. Well, I'm texting you, you beautiful girl, but I'm tired. I'm going to bed. You know what I like to say at fucking 1:15 in the morning? I'm going to work. Work at this time, money never sleeps, baby. Then I go to bed.
It strikes out of nowhere. If that's true, why is it not universal across the human condition? Why are some countries more depressed than others? Explain why some countries have no depression and some countries have a bunch of depression. Maybe because in some countries all we do is talk about depression and fucking promote it.
Bam.
And in some countries we don't. The reason that depression is promoted is because it allows you to become ultimately selfish, live inside of your mind, become obsessed with me, I'm sad, so you don't pay enough attention to what's going on around you to realize you're getting fucked by a ruling class who don't give a shit. And anyone who sits here and tells me, well, depression's real, you're telling me that your mindset is weak. And I'm not gonna adopt the thinking of weaklings. I'm busy living fucking life.
Alright, gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles with your host, the socially awkward nerd, Chris and Paul, up in the building. I want to get more into the meat of the bones when it comes to the steps, when it comes to all of this information that you're literally soaking in with social media, when it comes to, you know, the greater manosphere crowd that y'all been mainly following. While I understand that a lot of people that are up in the general manosphere have been talking like a lot of very great points and a lot of solid points, unfortunately, a lot of them in certain cases have talked about certain points that are illegitimate and in other cases delusional, right? I.e. Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, Rollo Tomasi, Jay Waller, just to name a few. Whatever, also to actually give another certain example as well. They're also a good example to really try to go by when it comes to them spending like a lot of delusion with some sprinkled truths literally here and there, literally to a point. I want to give my 2 cents on how to actually try to improve yourself as a man, and also try and deal with certain steps when it comes to actually not just getting through, you know, some stuff with your job, but also literally trying to get through life, even if you're actually trying to go through school. And you could watch it, and you probably would be asking, like, why do you think I should be credible to actually speak this type of ordeal? Why should I be qualified to discuss issues up in that manner, as simplistic as possible? And my response would be, you're actually dealing with someone who is of 32 years old, who actually got his degrees up in STEM fields. I received my undergraduate degree in civil engineering in 2013 at the University of Delaware. I also received my applied mathematics degree, my master's in applied mathematics and statistics degree up at Hunter College around 2018, and I'll definitely discuss that probably later on in this video. And I was a PhD candidate at Howard University for about a year and a half before, unfortunately, I got booted out, and I had my shortcomings with that. And now I'm in like the process of literally trying to build my whole life literally at that point. So I would like to try to discuss those steps with you, and actually discuss the proper steps on like what not to make with the same mistakes that I make, and how I can do better than I have done, so that, you know, moving forward you can actually try to benefit your life that way. Not only that, but you don't have to worry about actually dealing with any further civil lawsuits or possible, man, I'm full. Or possible criminal trials literally along the way. Let's get straight into it. Oh, I've got one more thing. Done all these things with a learning disability, more specifically Asperger's syndrome. I know they call it autism spectrum disorder. I'm gonna show it up. I'm autistic, so at least I can try and speak on that realm. Now, let's get into it.
Being a loser is unacceptable. If you're broke, fat, or you don't got your stuff together, that's your problem. Because here's the thing, women are just the cherry on top. Like, you should have already built the cake by the time she comes into the picture. You know, you should have already conquered a boardroom, or conquered some kind of physical labor, or played sports at some point in your life, endured some kind of stress. Like, men need to go through pain. Men must become. Women are, men must become.
Step one, okay? Very, very important, extremely important for any guy that's out there. Seek therapy from a licensed psychologist. Seek therapy from a licensed therapist, or even the speech therapist, however it may be. Get a therapist to really try to clear your head, help clear your head, so that you'll be able to actually just air out all your ills, air out all your concerns, to see if you're able to actually try to find like a good roadmap, or at least a good plan, based on how to rehabilitate or even recover your life. Okay, I just want to try and make this extremely clear. And I've discussed that around the previous video when it comes with therapy as well as interdependence. You can actually please look into that video down below, up in the link as well, or you can definitely look it up in the information tab up in your YouTube on the top right of your screen. That will be there. All right. Now, I know there's gonna be some folks, some pseudo red pill guru that's mainly out there that's saying, "Oh, therapy is for bitches. Oh, therapy is for pussies. All this other stuff." And they'll try to entice you and having you chase more money, having you chasing the six-figure dream, doing all that stuff, bagging a bunch of women, slapping them cheeks all the way, all the time. You know what I'm saying? Having so much scrambled eggs, really to the point of no end, while trying to rack up literally all these notch counts, literally all down your door, and then trying to get the flyest cars, as Hov would say and DMX would say, money, cars, hoes. You know what I'm saying? Women, lifestyle, finances, real estate, all this other stuff that they mainly talk about, getting in shape and fitness, getting themselves ripped, and they'll tell you it's the end all cure all. But what they're solely trying to do, they want to lead you down to a materialistic lifestyle. Unbeknownst to, not even without your knowledge, they're trying to pull you in up into that materialistic lifestyle. Just like with women, they tell you, "Oh, I don't need a man, get your own bag." You know what I'm saying? Go work out, try to be super fit, so you'll be able to actually share and post all this stuff towards the gram. You know what I'm saying? Sleepers, man you want, hot girl summer, really the whole 9 yards. Mindsets on opposite sides of the same mindset and opposite sides of the spectrum. Okay? Now, with the fitness aspect, yes, working out can ease tension and will definitely prolong your life. But what if unnecessary tension is built between you and a stranger, and God forbid you face potential sabotage, either through jealousy, or you face somebody that's actually arrogant up in your gym, or however it may be, you may face someone that's actually real selfish. You may face someone that's like literally a complete asswipe. I'm not saying it's extremely commonplace, but it is a definitely possibility. That's one question you gotta literally think yourself. All right. Now, number two, when it comes to money, okay, when it comes to the cash, moolah, okay, you can level up your money. That could give you an euphoria boost, which is great. But what if you encounter people that can literally sabotage you along the way just because you're doing better than them, right? What if you encounter jealous people that they don't know have like they're looking to secretly backstab you behind the scenes, unbeknownst to your knowledge, What if you deal with burnouts up in your job of business, which I'm actually going to literally follow up with the same question with the job. Leveling up with the job, obviously level up with the job, you get more money, but also deals with more responsibility. And again, you don't know, the higher ups are going to be jealous of you as well, which can cause, unfortunately, quicker burnouts. And also, what can I factor quicker burnout as well? All the isms that come about, sexism, racism, any form of discrimination, disparate treatment, however it may be, these are the types of things that can get you burned out as well, having all these crazy projects, one, have you get them done a short amount of time, or having you piled up over and over again. That can also cause burnout, unfortunately, as well. And last but not least, the women, right? Clapping cheeks, scrambled eggs, getting yourself heavily exploded, spewing up all champagne and milk all over the titties. You know what I mean? Very nice, okay? Getting your knots count up, extremely nice. Extremely upgrades. And there are many different ways you can literally try to up your knots count. If not, in your local region, You can definitely up your notch up outside the country, do the whole passport bros or passport pimping lifestyle, however it may be. Get all that stuff down pat, or you can actually try to secretly pay a prostitute or even an escort to really try to suck you off, and you're definitely good. Now the main issue is, what about the risk of STDs? Even if you put a condom on, even if you actually do doggy style, or even if you get head, by a woman, or even like get your pussy more saturated, it may be. STD's still gonna be there. They still gonna rise up. The risk is gonna actually up. Once you actually start doing the knots count thing. HIV, extremely serious. Okay, HIV/AIDS. From what we know, they don't have any current cures. They have this time. They have better treatment options for sure, but unfortunately, sadly, they do not have a cure at this time. You also have to deal with that factor as well. And then the accidental pregnancy stuff, the dick discipline, the scrambled egg discipline, if you will. Sexual discipline, okay? Piping out woman to woman to woman with the same sling-a-ling. Excuse me. Same eggplant, okay? These types of things, right? Once you get a woman pregnant, you at the mercy of her decision making whether or not she wants to keep the baby or whether she wants to literally abort the baby. If she does choose to abort the baby, however it may be, yes, there's going to be some trauma there and them actually losing it, and the scar will still be there. If she chooses to keep the baby, yes, there's a chance that she can miscarry the baby and you could literally get scarred for life as well. And then if she actually makes it through to term, where she actually safely delivers the baby and she's still alive, or God forbid she passes away through the emergency C-section and she wasn't able to make it after literally giving childbirth, which that possibly could be a very serious thing, unfortunately and sadly. You're still gonna have to really try to foot the bill. You're still gonna have to actually try to hold the responsibility and actually taking care of that child, if not physically, but also financially primarily, right? You stuck with that child for at least 18 years, and you're also gonna be stuck with that woman that you planted your seed in for at least 18 years, until, he or that child, whether he or she decides to actually go forward and advance degrees, and, more than likely you may have to want to try and attend that child and basically attend the success, that co-parent may still be there, if you actually choose to go, and she's still going to be there for the rest of life until, God forbid, one of you transition, that's still going to be stuck literally out there. You know what I'm saying? So that's another factor when it comes by when you take the risks of dealing with knots counts. Unless you get yourself a vasectomy, you don't want to actually have personal children yourself, or you don't want to try and build your own legacy. You want to try and do the knots count lifestyle like John Anthony lifestyle here, more power to you. But those are the risks that mainly come about. All that stuff that I literally try and discuss can still leave you empty if you don't have any fulfilling purpose to actually drives you to actually have you enjoy literally later on in life, that keeps you comfy, that keeps you stable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this is going to be validated for all men, because it could be a case by case basis thing. But if you're running around wasting your time chasing for materialistic stuff, you're still going to be empty up in the inside.
Thinking skills for the professional. Critical thinking is an important skill for professionals in all industries. It involves analyzing and evaluating information to make informed decisions and solve problems. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we'll be discussing critical thinking skills for the professional. Here are 3 critical thinking skills that are valuable for professionals. The first skill is problem solving. Critical thinking involves identifying and analyzing problems, evaluating solutions, and making informed decisions. The second skill is decision making. Critical thinking involves evaluating information, considering different perspectives, and making informed decisions. The third skill is communication. Critical thinking involves listening carefully, asking questions, and evaluating information before responding. Thank you for watching.
Juicy! Alright, step 2 is to develop your critical thinking skills to improve deciphering who's legitimate and who is not legitimate. Now that skill that you have could take months to years to literally fully form. It may take even a decade, but it's extremely necessary in order for you to literally fully think for yourself, in order for you to actually be fully confident with yourself, in order to have your own judgment to see which is good or which is bad, which person is actually like the right fit to mentor you, which person is not the right fit to mentor you. All these things, it is very important that you develop these critical thinking skills, literally to improve deciphering. And I'm well aware, I see a gentleman by the name of Real Men, Real Style, basically talk about this in like a very, very, very brief fitting of this. But I'm going to give my twist of the whole story and actually go into full detail onto the house when it comes to critical thinking, right? In regards to my degrees that I received, you know, when I went to engineering school, when I went to the University of Delaware studying engineering, there was like a lot of stuff. It requires a shit ton of discipline really just to try to get the degree in the first place. And studying for the engineering degree was literally no joke whatsoever. You know, like a bunch of people literally dropped out within the first couple years of school, basically handling anywhere up in the STEM field. But I know a majority of us mainly graduate engineering degrees for sure, but it wasn't a very, very easy road to get there. First couple years, definitely easy to get by the way the pace was going by. You were able to actually just knock out a couple problems in less than a couple steps and actually do like a bunch of practice problems very aggressively. It wasn't until I entered junior year and senior year that there were more steps involved to really solving the problem. And that's when the critical thinking skills had to be developed at that time. I had to literally try to learn to develop those things off the rip, which unfortunately did take me more time. And not only that, I had to contend with a learning disability by dealing with extended time. So those were the hurdles that I mainly had to deal with when it came with critical thinking. Again, fortunately, I graduated with the bachelor's. I come into Hunter studying for my master's in applied mathematics and statistics. And this is when I really got into the nitty gritty of critical thinking, because I had to literally rely on actually solving proofs of forms, dealing with multiple coding languages when it comes to computers, when it comes to certain software like R, Mathematica at the time. I had to literally try to learn these things just to get by, and also try to make sure I actually get all these proofs computed and literally have those proofs leading plans down to a T. That I had to rely on memorization, I had to rely on certain problem solving, just to literally make it out, as well as deal with a brutal project just to actually make it through my degree. No, I mean, it's not just limited to you going to a STEM field and actually studying for a STEM major, or actually doing something professional in STEM, you know, to help you develop your critical thinking skills. It's not just that. That's not the only example that you literally deal with. You can actually study for a law degree. You can study for a medical degree as well. That can help you develop your critical thinking skills. You can also help develop your critical thinking actually just working in like a real world field. Doing like a full-time job from source, or even a part-time job, trying to learn how to interact with people, learn how to do the proper tasks with people, learn how to actually think critically, and also developing social skills as well as another example. Learning how to pick up subtle cues, that's part of critical thinking. Learning how to actually read the temperature of the room, learning how to read the temperature of other people and see whether or not they feel tense, actually feeling excited to be around you. That's another example of critical thinking. That's another example of reading the temperature of the room as well. Those types of factors can actually be mainly put also when it comes to these whole ordeals as well, right? I'll give you like one good example when it comes to the whole manosphere red pill stuff, right? They'll give you certain statistics and they give you like an end result basically on like 80% of divorces are divorces that mainly had to. Let me start over. I was actually going to say. Divorces is mainly 80% of divorces come from the women mainly there. 80% of divorces are mainly filed by women. But when you actually dig into like the deep statistics of things, you go through 70%. I already gave like a backlog of the videos that are actually there. You want to try and look into the why, like why that statistic mainly comes in the form. You see certain articles, which I discussed below. A 2009 article that actually deciphers relationships and the actual number of people actually partaking in this. That's how you're able to get your actual percentage. Another example would be 10% of guys get 90% of the women. And the question would be would the 90% of women actually represent all of America or all across the world, or would the 90% of women actually be within those PUA bubbles or red pill bubbles that you may will? You have to ask these questions in order to actually fully understand the answer, to try and fully verify the claim. Because when I was studying applied mathematics, when I actually went to the PhD candidacy of mathematics as well, certain problems I was forced to verify certain theories just to prove the theory is legit. So with those claims that they made, you have to make sure that you verify those claims by digging to the why that they're occurring, so you'll be able to verify if they're legitimate or not. You know what I'm saying? And to actually clarify it even further, they may give you like certain end game statistics as well to try and fuel their narrative, but always look into the source of where they came from, dig into the source itself, and actually dig into why they actually came with a problem, and also understand that that theory can be challenged at any given time with other legitimate conflicting evidence can literally overwrite or overrule the previous finding. So even though it's like a finished result, it's still baseline studies in regards to that, because there's so much uncertainty really going on when it comes to actually dealing with these types of research. So again, always question, always question your mentors, always question those gurus on their legitimacy, always question those gurus when it comes with the research that they found, even question my critical thinking, even question what I bring, question my sources, question my findings. What are improvements do I need to make so moving forward I can really become more prepared to actually help you guys out more so in the general public of things. And is myself actually verified to be right as well? Like, question my findings, question my legitimacy, question what I mainly do for a living, question like how much work I've been doing backdrops and all these things. You know what I'm saying? The main concern is you just have to try to make sure that you actually try to vet the people that you actually watch or listen to, so that you don't get thoroughly hemmed up or literally get screwed down the line.
If you can't find and lock down a man of value, you are a loser. Not enough people are calling women out here losers. We call them thoughts, we call them hoes, but that really what they are, they're just fucking losers. We call guys losers.
Alright, number 3, respect everybody around you, even the women, and make sure you have everyone respect you, man or woman. Respect goes both ways. In order to actually do that, respect is obviously earned. You have to lead by example. You have to actually treat people how you want to be treated. Not just mainly for them, but basically a reflection of you. And that involves kindness, that involves discretion, that involves professionalism. Do not belittle anybody just because you don't know who they up in these streets are, be using your elevation or detrimental to your life. You don't know who they know, whether it's a man or a woman. You don't know what type of positions they have. You don't know what type of positions they have up in their jobs. You don't know if they're actually active, if they actually work out, all these other things. You don't know if they do have connects that are involved in social media or even any form of media or any other type of particular position, any other person that works in a particular position that you're looking for a job for or you're looking to do business with. All right? If you treat folks like shit, people of low value will stay, or they're like, because they don't know how fully their worth. But the people who know their self-worth will ghost you quickly when you least expect it, more than likely, or they'll just let you know that they're not going to be a part with you anymore. They will dip out of your life. Now, when it comes to make sure you have standards for yourself when it comes to respect, you don't want to have anyone disrespect you. All you have to do, if you feel disrespected in any form, slide this way, you definitely let that person know, whether it's man or woman, discreetly or actually respectfully or nicely in a nice tone. If it continues to go on, just walk the fuck away. You know what I mean? Especially when you're going on a date with a woman. If she pulls some like slick stunts, she takes some stuff from me without even knowing it, even though she actually contacts you saying, hey, she's already done, all of a sudden the itch that she comes in, or she pulls like any other certain that she came about, you actually just like dismiss it as you brush it off from, and not really brush it off, but you actually try to really just let it know in a playful tone, or just give a little bit of restriction up in a playful manner, say, hey, you know, you can't really do this. Or she actually try to sneak up and say, for instance, she actually tries to put her feet up in the console that you don't want to have her put her foot up and everything. The proper way to actually do it, if she continues to do that, would be to actually just go upside the car, go hug her and everything, and then just like body slam her like a WWE wrestler, like, ah! And now give it a set of cues. But if it repeats over and over again to a point where it becomes blatant and it's more belittling starts, that's the cue to bounce and ghost her without warning. Or let her know that you're ghosting her and you're done, finito, that's it. You know what I mean? If she really goes up and belittles you and actually demeans you up in the general public, right in front of your family, or up in front of anybody that matters, where you're up in the public eye, you know, that's basically a cue to actually ghost her. If she actually provokes you into physicality, any form of physical violence whatsoever, daring you to hit her, doing you to do all these things, that's common grounds for you to bounce and walk away. Ghost, okay? Ghost completely. Because you do not want to be in a vulnerable position, just like what Diddy is actually currently dealing with right now, where he's being hemmed up with all these crazy lawsuits due to all these allegations when it comes to violations. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to actually get yourself caught up in that. Now, if the woman actually starts with she's saying, oh, you're not going anywhere, or you're not doing anything, do everything you can to actually be as calm in the matter. Make sure you actually get somebody in line when it actually comes to police if need be. But still stay calm and take advantage of an X route whenever need be and get up out of here. Alright? And one more thing. Please don't pull no Andrew Tate method.
Get stoned!
You know, if like a woman doesn't even obey commands or anything like that, this don't pull the same method that Lily Andrew Tate is mainly doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's some conflicts, if there's some disagreements, really just hash it out. Talk with your partner in like a much civil manner if you actually choose to do that. And I'll discuss more about this Lily later on down the line in this video.
It's Diddy and the new public plea by police as more women speak out amid his ex Cassie's claims of rape, abuse, and sex trafficking.
It was torture, mind games. I don't think any of us have healed from that.
Former Danity Kane member Aubrey O'Day is joining other ex-bandmates standing by Cassie. The singer, who was famously fired from Diddy's Making the Band, tells ET Today there is a lot more to all of our stories.
He fired me.
Why?
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
He started punching me on the side of my head.
This ex, Gina Nguyen, made allegations in 2019 that seemingly mirror Cassie's claims that Diddy punched, beat, kicked, and stomped on her.
He stomped on my stomach.
Rapper Azalea Banks also stands with Cassie, claiming once Diddy beat her up so bad he sent her on a 3-week vacation to Hawaii so no one would see. And then there's this story resurfacing today.
Puff jumped off the bar, came over and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow, I want you to shave the side of your head. I was like, you're not about to do that, are you? She said, well, I mean, whatever Sean wants, I'm gonna do.
While Diddy hasn't responded to these claims, he vehemently denies Cassie's, including this allegation. He forced her to engage in sex with male sex workers. But is the NYPD now investigating Diddy? Cops today tell ET there is not an open case, but the department, quote, urges anyone who has been a victim to file a police report.
It's over.
The details of Cassie's 35-page lawsuit are explosive. She claims in 2012, when she started dating Kid Cudi, Diddy threatened to, quote, blow up the fellow rapper's car, and the vehicle later exploded in his driveway. Kid Cudi's rep says this is all true.
I went through a healing journey, and it was just I stopped making music.
In this interview, which aired 6 days before Cassie filed suit, Diddy reflected on disappearing from music for the last 13 years. And in September, he told us his ideal date is all about isolating.
I had to go off the grid, me and my significant other. No phones, no Wi-Fi, just me and you. And we just locked in 48 hours of love before there was the internet. There's no way like to track your girlfriend or nothing.
The 54-year-old's attorney calls Cassie's allegations blackmail, but her lawyer claims Diddy offered, quote, 8 figures to silence her. She should be applauded for her bravery.
Number 4, okay, spend some time going out networking and talking to people. Or matter of fact, fuck about the networking. Just spend some time literally going out of your house or going to like any public place and literally just talking to people discreetly. It could be a question that you're literally trying to pretend, or you're actually trying to ask some random person. Doesn't matter if it's like basically like a cashier or even a worker, or even ask a stranger what they think about some item that they have. If they don't know, you walk away. Pretend like you actually know something for a bit and actually try and get like some topics, or you pick a store that you're actually interested in based on what you're curious about. Do a little digging and ask random people basically that actually walk and look to shop for some stuff and give them the input and see what type of input they actually describe and like based on their experience. And if they actually give you these things, listen to them. Make sure you have thorough eye contact as I'm literally focusing face up on the camera. That you should be looking from eye to eye and actually listening to the cues and listen to the words that a person say, as well as the body language that comes by. If something comes off, if that person feels tense, you'll be able to actually read it and you'll be able to actually think more critically on how to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? The more comfortable you are, talking to folks, getting more comfortable, actually trying to keep the conversations going and slowly keep things more interesting and feeling the temperature out, the better you are going to be in conversation, the better are that you're actually going to be in communication, the better are you're going to actually overcome much anxiety really during that stretch. So please get yourself involved in actually developing more of these communication skills, just like I have when I had to read the book Socially Curious and Curiously Social. Shout out to my speech therapist when it comes to that book, by the way. You'll be able to actually handle yourself in certain situations accordingly. Now, if folks mainly disrespect you and all that stuff, don't be afraid to be stern, but also respectful. Alright? If folks, again, take issue with that, then they're not the right fit for you. You know what I mean? And again, when you see a woman nag and brag saying, oh, my career come first, over you understand this is a coping mechanism to really guard her insecurities, and also she basically does not respect you at that point. Let it go. You feel me?
I came to the table on dates and I said to myself, it wasn't like I'm going to go in and I'm not going to sleep with this person for X amount of... It's not that. It's a matter of comfort. It's a matter of genuinely feeling like someone is there for the right reasons, like you're there for the right reasons.
That's where we're going to differ, because sex is not about comfort. It's about discomfort. It's about urgency. It's about I got to get with this guy. I will break my rules to get with this guy because he's so hot and I'm so into this dude that I want to get with this guy.
If you're not comfortable when a man is having sex with you, if you're uncomfortable, you're going to be uncomfortable, and
uncomfortable in sense of urgency.
Sure, but you can. What I'm saying is, don't judge a book by its cover in the sense of you don't know what I've got going on inside. I may be dying to sleep with you. I may be sitting across. I'm married now, so I'm talking about my old self. I may be on a date and be like, oh man, this guy he's so hot. I may call my friend after the show and be like, oh my God, he's so hot. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I'm doing at the time.
Now, if you want your woman, gentlemen, to be a hardcore traditional housewife or traditional girlfriend in Western climate, today in this rise of inflation and all the other stuff that came by, all the craziness that's seen up in the world today, you have to be willing to bleed on your dreams and bleed on what you stand for and bleed on your goals and do your best to be an entrepreneur or a top corporate gun with an extremely high salary. More likely a 7 digits, not 6 digits. 6 digits is nothing up in the western cities, up in like the metro areas, up in like the western countries. New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, Toronto. Ultra high value, talking about close to $500,000 or even around $1 million at times. And there's like a very small percentage of people that actually have that type of money all across the country. Okay? Be willing to actually be that guy so that you'll be able to actually complete an employment opportunity for your partner, whether it's like a girlfriend or a wife, to actually work for you if she chooses. And by doing that, you can allow her to work from home and run the household if she chooses to, as long as you treat her with the proper respect and decorum and consider her options and her opinions on certain instances. All right. Please, please, please don't be arrogant. Don't be demeaning. Don't be mad and say, oh, I have the power, you don't. You know, I run this show, you don't. You abide by my orders. And that shit ain't gonna fly here in a relationship. That shit ain't gonna fly up in the marriage, in which you guys should literally be acting as a team. So don't be arrogant if you address some concerns, which some dudes have mainly fucked this up at the very least. Throwing their housewives out of the house, which unfortunately led them to become boss bays out of necessity, right? Which led to them becoming synonym idioms out of necessity and because of those traumas that they've literally experienced. Okay? If that boss bay chooses some Pookie, Ray Ray, whatever type of Chad, crazy, extremely cocky, arrogant, you know, crazy asshole, you know, or someone that's a complete bum, just understand that that's a reflection of her and basically who she is at the end of the day, and basically like where her past mainly stands on. And that is in regards to that particular individual. Okay? I just want to try and let you know that. But that does not conflate to all women as a general whole. Okay? And again, stems back to critical thinking.
That the red pill says that just what you just said, that 20% of guys are banging 80% of the women. That is not what the 80-20 rule is. In fact, this is the 80-20 rule, very well documented by our good friend Steve Stewart Williamson, one of my favorite Evo site guys. Studies of online dating find that most men find most women at least somewhat attractive. In contrast, women view 80% of men as below average in attractiveness. Okay,
is that 80 or 90?
Well, it says 80% here. That would no. There's you know why you're asking that? Because there's multiple research that confirms pretty much that same thing, right? All right, so average in attractiveness. Now, okay, so in contrast, women view 80% of men as below average in attractiveness. Men liked more than 60% of female profiles, while women liked only 4.5% of male profiles. That's the 80-20 rule.
Now, the last thing I really wanted to, second to last thing I actually want to discuss is being faithful and being honest to your partner. I hear all this stuff in like the general manosphere, you know, saying high value men don't cheat the exercise options. All right. Or, you know, men biologically have, you know, the urge to actually cheat and actually sleep with as many women as they can, while the women actually can't even do that. And while it's definitely true to a point in which, you know, the men actually tends to give in terms of sperm, again, what about the STDs? What about the hives? You know, what about the accidental pregnancies? What about Russian roulette when ever the woman deals with pregnancy or whenever she's ovulating? What about that factor? You know what I'm saying? What about herpes? You know, what about crabs? What about chlamydia? You know, what if they find out that way? Like, if you don't get yourself checked out as often as you can, you know, what if they find out that way? What if they actually find out through word of mouth, and then she could be actually very resentful of what's really going on, and, you know, you're starting to feel a little bit hesitant, you're not really fully understand what's really going on, and she has all this concern, and then you become extremely aggressive, and now shit gets literally gone out of hand and literally gone berserk. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can do all these things, right? But all these other consequential actions can literally still have an impact on you. Yes, you know, a woman could definitely be heavily more vulnerable through, you know, I forgot what the word is, pair bonding, right? She gets stuck with pair bonding the more partners that she has, but men can also be affected by pair bonding as well, even though it may take him a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more partners they mainly have, the more scrambled eggs, the harder it is for really to be faithful with like just one person. And it's not just for women, it's for also men as well. You know what I'm saying? Unless they have some sort of discipline where they actually try to repent and actually try to clear themselves away, which either a man and women could possibly do in this case, you know, men aren't immune from, you know, the pair bonding ills as well, just like women aren't going to be immune from pair bonding. Even though women are much more vulnerable to that than men are, you know, the more, you know, more ass clappings and the more knots that you mainly focus on, the harder it is to really stay faithful towards one partner. And which would be a case that could be a very strong chance that he could literally die alone or actually be very more lonely because of the lack of stability. But realistically not, because you're going to still have some family member or even like other family members or friends that may come by your deathbed whenever you unfortunately tragically pass away. But it's still not they're still not exactly the same as you having a special companion or like a special someone to really hold you down in your transitioning days.
A lot of you guys are fucking losers. Straight up. Fucking losers. A lot of you motherfuckers shouldn't even be thinking about bitches. You haven't been in the gym in fucking weeks, months, eating fucking cheeseburgers and shit. Triple chin, ridiculous. You over here saying,
oh, well, I want to be able to get girls and I want to be able to make money, blah, blah, blah.
You can't even affect change in your own fucking body, which you have 100% control of. Nobody respects you because you don't respect your fucking self. But a lot of you guys want to go with the fucking, I'm just gonna be a victim. I'm not where I want to be because of my circumstances. Fuck the circumstances. Overcome the circumstances. We understand that the sexual marketplace is a certain way. It is what it is. These bitches don't respect you. So what the fuck are you gonna do? Are you gonna react to it and cry, or are you gonna be proactive and change your reality?
45 years old, no job, no friends, no money, with no hobbies. What should I do first?
Asking me this at 45 minutes too late. I'm not saying that you can never be happy, but for me to sit here and give you advice at 45 when you have no friends, you have no job, you're on welfare, and you're overweight is disingenuous of me. And that should scare the fuck out of every one of you young guys. So you guys look at that situation and make for goddamn sure you never end up there.
And lastly, the most important thing I want to discuss, you are not, I repeat, you are not a loser. Unlike some of these crazy pseudo alpha gurus who like to actually profess to you just because you're literally down in your ditch or you actually struggling in some more deals. You are not a loser whatsoever. Remember that. Hear me well and hear me clear. You are a winner, okay? You are unique. You are special in your own way. You are needed. You are loved. You are wanted. You are impactful. Not just when you're immediate family, but also potentially your community and the people around you. Remember that. It's just, you have to actually form a strategy how you're going to literally get there to actually make a big impact within the region that you're in, within society that you're around. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to leave it at that when it comes with the gentlemen. And ladies, you're not off the hook either.
Why do so many women today say they don't need a man?
Because we're independent as hell.
If a man has friends, doesn't want kids, hires a maid and hires a prostitute, why would a man need a woman?
He could learn one or two things from a woman.
Like what?
Love. Yeah, love.
Okay. Do you think that men are incapable of love without a woman teaching them?
No.
Why do women think they're the ones who should define love and emotions?
Because we're more passionate, right? Yeah. We're more passionate.
Where's the evidence of that?
We birth. We birth.
Okay. All right.